It's my favorite part about the menu music.
Favorite scene, like music in Asuka? Or do you have another one?
In the menu, like the other one is, I guess, like the track on the rooftop in general. It just has like a lot of like energy, right?
Can't you remember? I forgot which stage it
it's
is.
the doom 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 doom. It's like very like how dramatic, but it's a very simple tune. When you guys get to the rooftop, I'll be like that one.
You know, I mean,
I'm trying to remember whose stage it is.
no, I do see like the stage and stuff. I just don't remember right now like the actual. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I think I like Tamaki's music the most.
The tennis court.
Yeah.
I have to hear it again. Yep. This one here is definitely not my favorite.
Nah, it's
good.
okay.
I'm just saying it's not my favorite.
Same. It's okay. Like, it's chill. I think it's technically like Kumi's music.
Yeah, I suppose so, judging by who's in the background, yeah. Or what objects are there, rather. That stage sure changed. There was like a reflective mirror in other Asukas, right?
Yeah.
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 And it never worked. Wait.
Fair enough.
I mean, that's fine to not do the exact same gimmick.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, for as far as we know, they just moved the character from one end to the other end. I think the architecture is different too, but like it's still
like SP2 have different like background than Limitover. So yeah.
Oh.
So if we were to do like a very like precise construction of the school, these must be different sports build. They have a lot of sports buildings. Like yeah. That's a big high school.
I mean, definitely. I tried at some point to do an actual like blueprint plan of like the high school with like all the stuff we had. I don't think that's really possible because I don't think it's actually that consistent.
I mean, Japanese schools are all built pretty uniform, so...
Yeah, but like,
I'm talking
if you go by the scenes, right? Like, if you go by the visual scenes from the different games, you end up with like so many different looking buildings that if you put them all together, that's just a gigantic school.
Or even like if we take just limited and limit over, like from the background and stuff like that, and it's not that much consistent. Not everything is consistent.
I guess those could be a little bit reworking to some degree, right? Like this stage, for example. Like that looks different, but it's definitely this part of the building, right?
It's like
by the way,
I think the building is a H-looking building or something like that. It's either two building like the parallel or a H like shape.
Yeah, I see.
By the way, we see it, and we see it like another place. Also, like use the the limited like intro cutscene. I think we do see like a bit more from that.
True. Yeah. Headcanon of mine. When you go up the stairs, you get like the and the sun goes down a little. You get like the SP2 stage where you fight Shinobu. Yeah. Without me comparing like different architecture to see if it makes sense, but like I was always like you.
I mean, you did say the headcanon, so makes sense in that way, right? So
yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I don't know which stage is it. Is it Kyoko? I guess that's supposed to be a baseball field.
What? Wait, what?
Like, what field is it right now? Like, what
This is Megami stage.
That's Megami stage? Really?
It's her music. So
I think it's true, yeah.
I guess.
General sports area.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The grabbing Asukas, yes. Exactly.
Yeah. At least it's consistent.
Somewhat,
I mean, it
guess,
is.
Yeah.
Technically accurate, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Technically accurate. Yeah, exactly. That was the type of consistency that I meant. All according to game code. Air grabbed. But yeah, like I like projects like that sometimes, which are like, okay, let's go by the fictional descriptions that were given and kind of piece together like a puzzle what this place actually looks like.
Yeah.
Usually you end up with this weird dream-like nightmare zone that can't really exist. But sometimes it's like, whoa, this is super accurate. That must mean that the guy writing about this or the guy that did stuff here actually has an idea of what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they do here have like a somewhat of an idea of what it looked like, right? Because to stay consistent between stages, but yeah.
Yeah.
As far as I know, there is no like concept art or something like that of the school.
The school grounds?
Yeah.
Well, because I assume it's built on the assumption that you know what a Japanese school looks like because it's a Japanese game.
I don't think like the school looked like a Japanese school. I don't think Japanese schools have like soccer field, baseball field, a pool, and street gymnast like
it's a private, very expensive Japanese school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I mean, it must be hard to get into this almost girls-only school, right? Like, yeah.
I mean, if you have to fight to get a budget, I guess, yes, it's certainly hard to be
yeah,
there.
Yeah. It just has like an alternate setting, right? Like Sumomomo Momomo, where it is like everything is just martial arts people. So here it's just high school sports. The country, I don't know. Their school budget must be very high by just skimping on budget for clubs, basically.
Yeah. Oh.
So that they remain in budget, they have to produce a lot of new athletes for all sorts of sports that are successful all the time, but they lose like their multi-billion yen like sponsors from international sports academies.
I mean,
stuff.
technically, I guess
I mean, not academies.
All the girl have name of like a big car chain or food chain or stuff like that. So they're all somewhat rich girl, like from rich dads and families, I guess.
Yeah.
True. For a second, I was thinking, oh, so are we like in a nightmare scenario where like if your child is born, you have to name them after a specific product?
No.
But like, yeah, no, you were just implying the more normal version of that, where they're just related to the people that own the company.
Yeah.
Just yeah.
Asuka is Asuka Honda. Forgot what Shinobu is.
Which to me just always meant.
Oh,
like the
motorbikes. Yeah, it was like something, definitely something like that. Was this Yamaha or Kinosuke? Makes sense.
See, I just always thought with Asuka Honda that basically her uncle is Edmondo Honda.
Yeah, I was waiting for someone to make that joke.
She has Honda hands, right? Like, yeah.
I guess she got it like during like a vacation at her uncle's place.
Yeah, or it's a family technique. I don't know. Because it's certainly not sumo.
No.
At least not one-handed. To be fair, and that's what I kind of don't like about Street Fighter V. Yeah, the move looks cool, but like Street Fighter V Honda hands, he does as if he were sumo wrestling. Now it looks more like a sumo wrestling move. He's doing ta-ta-ta with both hands, right? Yeah. Kind of like the girl from KOF who was doing actual sumo. But like, that's not Honda hands. Honda hands is where he does like one hand like an idiot.
It's not one hand.
Oh, you're right. He actually does have two hands. Yeah. So he's technically doing that. It's just from his stance it looks like. I
made that mistake when I was a child. When I saw that move, like, no, it's two hands.
Yeah, you're right. He just has one hand further back.
Because that's what Chun-Li does.
Yeah.
And like those are the only two mash moves. And like all the other mash moves in the game are one-handed. DJ's is one-handed. You know. Jesus.
Blanca is like, look ma, no hands.
Yeah. I mean, he's using his hands to... okay, never mind.
I don't know what he's using there.
His hair.
I mean, his hair, static electricity. Yeah. But how do you... Is it like official lore that he learned this from electric eels? Or is that just US lore?
Does it even matter at this point?
I realize you're sort of right, but I'm still asking.
Street Fighter's official lore is also changed. So,
yes.
I don't know. Because what the characters were in Street Fighter 2 and what they are now, some of them are just different entirely.
True.
I didn't hit? Wow.
Yeah, low profile.
That was more like a... I didn't get why I didn't hit with my 2B. The fact that I had low profile with the 3, I know. I use that against 3-3. That. Oh, I missed.
I hope Arc System works now that they put rollback into BB Tag. Add another DLC of guest characters with some other anime games, like hint hint Asuka.
There is no way that that Asuka will end up in it.
Nah.
But Phantom Breaker could, I guess. Maybe.
That's more likely. Yeah, but yeah, yeah, let's go with that. Like a character from a fill-in cafe game, basically, / mages, whatever you want to call it, right? That would be cool.
Yeah, it'd be nice. It's not happening, but it would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, there's not going to be another DLC. It doesn't really look like it. There's a small chance of that, I think. And if you have that, there is, I think, a good chance of there being, like, guest characters in that are from something that wasn't yet considered, right? But more likely for that are, like, characters from other Arc System works.
You will get, like, the new character from Akatsuki Anesthesis or whatever.
That's an option, right? Then you could also have
the new Akatsuki coming out, so...
Yeah, Anastasis. Yes. Or rather, it is out. You're just trying to find footage.
Oh, it's out?
Well, the thing is, the release date said 22nd of February, 2022. Yes, the video was released only one day before that, but that's what the video said. It's Nezuka, right? So it's just a downloadable.
Cool.
I haven't seen new N1 footage except for a tournament.
At like 10 frames of lag.
Hmm?
Don't Nezuka cabinets have like 10 frames of lag?
No.
No.
Okay. I guess I'm thinking of something else then.
Yeah. Like there were shitty arcade cabinets, but like Nezuka is pretty good. What am I what was I talking about? So Anastasis for BB Tag, that new character there with the helmet, sure, that's a possibility. For example, a character from Chaos Code is a possibility.
In what universe is it a possibility?
In the universe where Arc System Works published Chaos Code, which is the one we live in. Okay. So yeah, I mean, work it has resumed on the new Chaos Code, right? So it's not like that's right.
No.
So
the next character is Yori. Definitely.
Yori? SNK characters.
Yes,
exactly.
SNK character. He wanted to sweep more, so he joined like an anime fighter, right? Same as Mad.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, Iori. Okay, I thought you
Yeah.
said Yuri,
No.
like Yuri Sakazaki, and not Yagami. Okay.
Yeah.
Yori.
That's so funny when somebody even with air grabs like that, when someone escapes and the person just drifts down like, oh, I'm not throwing anymore. Well, yeah. But yeah, like we don't have an SNK game and SNK character in an Arc System Works game yet, right? We only have the reverse. So indeed, like SNK character in
It's gonna
BB
be
Tag
Kyo.
would be nice.
It's always gonna be Kyo.
You say that, but look at all the other characters.
Yeah,
None of them are
it's
Kyo.
going to be Kyo.
That's why
Because
it's going
he's
to
the
be
one
Kyo.
that hasn't had his opportunity yet.
Doesn't that mean we have to consider the nightmare scenario that's going to be KOF 14 main character?
No, I guess it would be like the 15 ball, I guess.
Shinobu works fine in an anime game. He practically has the moveset for it.
Yeah, I'm
He's
just
just
saying
not
he's
playing.
stupid.
Yeah, yes.
The girl, I'd be fine with.
Well, you're saying no, Shune is stupid because he's an anime character in not an anime game.
Yeah. Sort of. Yeah.
So if he was if Shune was in a regular anime game, he'd look so much more.
I think it would still look bad.
Yeah. At least you can pair him up with the other headphones guy from Persona, right? Team not paying attention to the fight.
Shit.
Just yeah. But like I mean that guy would be a possibility too. Like if we're just saying
Are you
that
gonna sit there and tell me that Shune would look out of place in like Million Arthur?
No, but I'm going to sit there and tell you that it would be sad because this is a dumb character. The girl from KOF 15, she's fine. Like whatever.
I think she's
looks
fine.
okay.
I don't like either of them.
I see. Yeah, but like Kyo is a possibility, and I don't have anything against Kyo simply because he hasn't been in any other games. But it's one of those things where it's like there are already 1 million Shotos in BB Tag. It's worse than SVC Chaos, right?
To be fair, Kyo hasn't really been a Shoto since like 97. 90.
What?
He doesn't have a fireball. Kyo doesn't have
Yeah,
a fireball.
but he has kind of a Tatsu, which is his fireball, like that explosion thing he does moving forward, right?
Yeah.
And he has a
Not
DP.
fireball.
And he has a DP.
Yeah,
I mean,
he has a DP. He has a record, a fireball. Fuck off. He has a record, a Tatsu, and like a DP.
Yeah. He's not a purist Shoto, but I mean, he is a Shoto. Come on, like, yeah. He can't do Shoto gameplay in terms if that's like Ryu sitting there shooting fireballs.
Name me another Shoto that has a record.
What?
Name me another Shoto that has a record.
How about I name you like 3? Okay, so let's take a modern one first. The main character from Million Arthur.
Okay.
Good.
I haven't played him.
Okay, yeah, but there's one.
Oh shit.
I said 3, and I can definitely do it, but I now I have to think because I forgot the others just now after saying the first one. Yeah. Shotos with Rekkas. Let's see. What companies exist?
What do you need for it to be a Shoto? Just having a DP and Tatsu, or you need a fireball?
Basically, fireball, DP, Tatsu.
Yeah, but not
I'd
all
be fine with
Shotos
2
have
of
3,
them.
so...
All-rounder character, basically.
Personally, I'd be fine with 2 of them. If the rest of their moveset is just, you know, player 1, player 2 characters. Because
in order to be Shoto, you need to have all 3. You can have other stuff, but
you don't. You don't need to have all 3 like to be a Shoto.
Like
Ragnar
in
is
the
a
purest
Shoto.
sense,
He doesn't have
yes.
like a fireball, if I remember correctly.
Who?
Ragnar.
Yeah.
That's
Ragnar
because
would
the
be.
fireball. It's not a full fireball, but it's a fireball.
But you
it's
said
like,
Kyo's explosion thing isn't a fireball.
Soul doesn't really have a fireball either, too. It's not really. It is a fireball, but it's close range fireball. It's like a pressure and not like a Shoto fireball. So yeah, Shoto doesn't need to have like the 3 exact same thing as Ryu. That's not how.
I don't say they have to have the exact same thing, but
you need like 2 of them, and that are like the main game plan of your gameplay or something.
Yeah, I will say that the combination only Fireball and Tatsu is pretty rare. Like Fireball DP or Tatsu DP is what you usually have, right?
Yeah.
But so if there's a Shoto is just Fireball Tatsu and no DP, I'm not sure about that guy. But just because I can't even think of one, right? But I think anything else is okay.
But it's also
it's
like
a range.
Not everyone that has a DP and a Fireball is a Shoto. Right.
That is true.
Yeah.
Like some zoners have a DP.
Yeah.
It happens
Izayori has like her DP and a Fireball. I don't think she counts as a Shoto.
You can even turn that around. Like, who? What?
No, who are you talking about?
Izayori from Blaze Blue.
They said Iori again. It's like, well, yeah, Iori's a Shoto. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And Iori's a Shoto and he has Rekka.
Yeah, but he also has Fireball DP Tatsu. He has a Rekka on top of that. He has a Command Grip on top of that.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess the original question was earlier, like, name a Shoto that has Rekka. Or we get one, I guess?
Yeah, and you were supposed to bring up Iori, and I was supposed to bring up that he still has DP Fireball Tatsu.
Huh?
Yeah, Iori, but okay,
and whatever.
Fulfilled.
Like the question I asked, like, what do you need for a Shoto is because people have a different like version of a Shoto. I think like asking the 3 thing is not necessarily true. That's it, right? Same reason for Ragnar, Soul, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it's fine to want to make a distinction to say pure Shoto if someone really has the 3, right? Like these little, these little meme pictures people do about like Shotos. I think that's it's fine to do that because ultimately in fighting games, I mean that's the cool thing with fighting games. A character isn't an archetype, right? An archetype is a description that can have characters.
Yeah, but if there isn't
to them,
if there isn't a clearly distinct definition of what those archetypes are, then how do you categorize a character?
Because the way we use words they just have to overlap with the things that they're trying to signify. They don't have to actually perfectly define them. Otherwise, they're not working at all.
I said they had to be perfectly defined, but I'm saying if you're going to call a character thing, they should have specific certain tools. Or have a certain playstyle. Because that's how categorization works.
Yeah. But like,
I mean,
Shoto doesn't need like the 3 of them to be true.
Yeah, I mean, there's always been a distinction since like the early days of Street Fighter and other fighting games around that era, of a Shoto that's a little bit better up close and a Shoto that's a little bit better at the zoning thing. Like Ryu and Ken, in the first game they're clones, sure. But like the differences that these characters have gotten over time, you can kind of see. It's also in fighting games, right? Like the extremes you have then in Guilty Gear and Blaze Blue, right? Where like Soul's a Shoto, Kai's a Shoto.
Yeah, and they play completely differently.
Yeah, that is fine, right? So it's more a description of can you do Shoto things with them? And then the answer is like, yes. Can you do all of Ryo's Shoto things with them? No, you cannot. Well, Kai can, but...
Well, in Space Control play, it doesn't have to be specifically Ryo or Ken. I'm just saying they both still have Fireball Tatsu DP.
Yeah.
They're still Shotos. They play differently. They have different applications for those moves, but they are the same type of move.
Yeah.
Or same category of move, I would say.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but it's possible for a character to have these tools and still not be a Shoto.
Yes.
And the reverse goes sort of as well, right? For Shoto gameplay, you do need some of these moves, but do you need all of them? I feel like that's not necessarily true.
I think to be a Shoto, you do.
2 are sufficient. Right. But I'm just saying it's
Like,
fine also to then say
for example,
there's
like,
a
why
pure.
does she would need to be like in it to call a Shoto? For example, like Ryu doesn't really use his tattoos that much. He mainly uses like the DP and Fireball, whereas like Ken will use like a DP and tattoo more than his Fireball.
Yeah, but he still has the other moves.
Yeah, but then some other character like for Shotos will remove one completely and just add different move. Just it, I think. That
Yeah.
easy enough.
I mean, that's sort of what happened historically, right?
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
people noticed the playstyles, which informed new character designs around those playstyles. So that's sort of why we get incomplete Shotos, if you will, right? Like, I think it's okay to want to say, yes, but there are Shotos that are really purist Shoto that have all three. I think that's fine. But
Yeah.
I don't think that really excludes, like,
Exactly.
characters.
It's like you're going to say a grappler needs to be like Zangief, and you don't any Zangief that doesn't have any grappler that have like no lariat, by example.
No 360, no grappler.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna say that. I hate the Zangief archetype of grappler. I hate it, but
it's just an example.
It's just an example of like how you make it sound. Like it's the Shoto doesn't need to have like the 3, like a grappler doesn't need to have a lariat and a 360. That's just
a grappler needs to have a command grab.
Yes, but does it need to have a lariat?
No, it doesn't need to have a lariat.
There we go. That's the same idea. That was the point.
Yeah, but a grappler, as by the name implies, is defined by the grab.
Yes, but not by the command grab, by the way.
Yes, the command grab.
No, there's an SNK grappler who has like 6 different grabs, but they're all like command normal grabs. So I think that should also fit. As long as they have grabs that they're working around. It doesn't have to be
one command grab, but it has to be the moveset has to include command grabs or strike throws.
Yeah.
Like there has the threat of the grab needs to be omnipresent in a grappler matchup.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's basically what I'm
the gameplay is what matters.
Yeah, not the moves.
The moves inform the gameplay.
That's true, but that goes both ways. It's just that, like, we can't just look at one in exclusion. Like, the example with, like, Ryu and Ken that Vick gave, for example, right? Which just is, like, comparing, like, Kai and Soul, is that you have certain playstyles that you can have that are applied to something, and you have characters built around that, and then they lose one of the tools because it doesn't really fit with what they're doing, and then it's fine, right? Like, they're still that. They're just, like, very... If you want, you can call them some sort of sub-archetype or so. Like, personally, I say stuff like a zoning Shoto, assault Shoto, or I just straight up say red Shoto, blue Shoto. Yeah, well, blue, white, red, black, but whatever. I just say red, blue because of the player icons.
It's just subcategories. Shoto, subcategory, rushdown. Shoto, subcategory, space control or defensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in this category, not all of them would have the 3 moves.
But they're both Shotos.
What was that last part?
Me or Rick?
You.
So one is aggressive and one is defensive, but they're both Shotos. Right?
Yeah, so you can have like someone who is so far down the line of aggressive Shoto that he just doesn't have all the moves.
Yeah.
No.
As long as he really plays like that, because just to give like a different example of someone who also comes from a different area, Chip Zaneth. Chip Zaneth has a DP. Chip Zaneth has fireballs. Chip Zaneth has rapidly forward-moving moves, but he doesn't really have like a Tatsu. But Chip Zaneth is not a Shoto.
This is Tatsu, technically.
Yeah, technically, right? Alpha Blade is just yeah. So but he's not a Shoto, right? His gameplay does not even resemble like a rushdown Shotos, like an aggressive Shoto.
Well, the thing is that I don't think Shoto has a determined gameplay style. They just have...
Then they don't need the 3 moves, even less. But well, okay.
Well, no. They have core moves, but how the moves are used changes on the character, changes on the game. But the concept
that's true.
is you have these 3 moves that can be applied to mostly every situation in the game. Now, whether it's useful for that situation as an all-rounder character, it may not be accurate, but the moves are always there. Because the idea behind the Shoto moveset is that it's an all-rounder character. You can basically put your opponent in every situation in the game to a limited extent. Or in a defensive position, you always have like a jack of all trades kind of character. You can do all of these things, but you don't excel in any one of them. That was the original idea of the Shoto character, but as it became developed throughout the course of fighting games,
it's now your entry-level character that you may remember from such games as Street Fighter or King of Fighters, right?
It is your main character, basically. It kind of what it became. It's the main character moveset. But as Shotos, as fighting games develop, Shotos have lost their traditional gameplay style of being the all-rounder character because gameplay styles are so
diverse.
Yeah, divergent at this point.
Divergence even better, yeah.
Yeah.
The
moves are still there.
Yeah.
Because it is core to the identity of what a Shoto is. Whether the move is useful or not, whether you use the move or not, doesn't matter. What matters is that the move is there.
The thing is, like, what you say makes sense until you say that you need the 3 move. That's the part I don't get, because like most of the Shoto you talk later on don't have the 3 move, but I still consider that as Shoto. So I don't know.
Because most of us just get more stuff. I can't think of too many shows that just don't have the 3 core moves. You have more stuff added to it, but
isn't that because it's? Weren't we talking about an example?
We're talking about Kyo.
Yeah, Kyo. Kyo's a Shoto.
Yes.
But earlier you said no.
Well, no,
also,
I said
you did agree that he had no fireball.
Yeah, because he stopped having a fireball, so he's not really a Shoto anymore.
Yeah, but
that was what I was saying.
Yeah, exactly. But as you just said, yeah, he is. Right.
Yeah, in 11 he was, because he had his fireball.
Come on.
If Kyo doesn't have his fireball, I don't consider him a Shoto. That's just...
Yeah, that I understand.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, it's perfectly fine. He's just not a Shoto that has all 3 of these moves. And
he's not a Shoto.
Then what is he? What is he? Like, he's just a Alf Shoto that lost like a move? Then he's more or less a Shoto.
He's a rushdown character.
But that doesn't inform on the gameplay at all.
So
then that's not even a category.
Yeah, but Ken is also a Shoto. Iori is also a rushdown character and also a Shoto.
But there's a...
Rushdown is like above a Shoto or anything. It's like a larger category. It's not a gameplay category.
Yeah, rushdown is a gameplay style. Yeah.
But then, like, if he's not a Shoto, like, if he's not, like... What is the subcategory is he in? Rushdown is not the category is in. Like... What is the character gameplay then?
What, for Kyo?
Yeah, I mean, that was Hoarsplay's question, right? Going off of that he doesn't count as one.
Right.
Okay, so just to add something to that, but I'm adding it to show that he's not that either. There are characters that are built around just using their Rekka. There are Rekka characters. They share certain move sets with one another too.
Yeah.
And Kyo is not that. For example, an older character
Kyo
would
has
be
Rekkas with branching points in his light Rekka. How is that not a Rekka character?
Because he's an SNK character. SNK characters break all expectations.
They used to. Ever since like 12, the moves have been more streamlined into just regular fighting.
But Kyo is older than that. He still has these ideas with there are how many
because that's his identity as a fighting game character.
But how many characters in SNK really are like 3 or 4 different things if you try to put them in a box? There's so many. Look at Yamazaki. Yamazaki, for example. Yamazaki has a counter. Does his rest of his move style set work as someone who mostly works around counters? No, not at all. He has like these punches, right? So is he like a Yaido character? Yeah. No, because he also has command grabs that you have to look out for. SNK characters are just really like multiple things. Like in general.
Yeah.
So it's fine for Kyo to have multiple records.
One of my favorite things about SNK characters is that the movesets are always weird, and the movesets, although this is a lot less true nowadays, the movesets were always prone to changing. Yeah. Just like a moveset was never set in stone.
Yeah.
Which is one of the things I liked about KOF. Yeah. But go on.
Yeah. So if we're just using words to apply to something, there are definitely hybrid characters. Now, SNK characters aren't hybrid characters because they just have a collection of moves that makes sense together. They're not. The idea behind them isn't, what if we cross these 3 character archetypes? Like, their movesets are definitely not that. But they have moves that would, in other fighting games, be more aligned with being in a certain archetype, right? So it's fine to say that Yamazaki is like if you had a Yaido character with a counter and command grabs, or if you say, oh, he's a grappler, sort of, but he actually also has these baton strikes like a Yaido character, and he has a counter. That's just a communication thing, right? Kyo doesn't stop being a Shoto simply because he also has like a bunch of branching rekkas, but none of the normals associated with people that are built around rekkas. He's not like, what's his name from Under Night In-Birth, Enkidu, right? Enkidu is like a really good collection of the history of like characters like this, right? Like him, Enkidu, and like Kyo don't share a lot in common, other than like a rekka with branches, right?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like Kyo doesn't stop being a Shoto because he also has other things. That's just an SNK.
I never said that. I said he stops being a Shoto because he doesn't have a fireball.
I understand that, but part of that, but what you used that to ask, what is he then, and then said about rekkas. I'm just introducing the idea here that he's definitely not a rekka character, because it's just not an SNK thing to like define their characters in that manner. But if we're just talking about like what character is that? He's a Shoto. Yes, he has rekkas. He doesn't have a fireball, yes. But as said earlier, there are Shotos that don't use all 3 of their moves. If they never use their move, their 3rd one, and they just have it. Like you said, it's important that they have it, not that they use it, right?
Yes.
I challenge that though. Like, if they never use it, they don't realistically have it as part of their game style or gameplay. Like, it's like the Ryuken thing again. It's fine to have a character that specifically goes for that experience, right? It's still a Shoto, because that's a experience that you get out of playing a Shoto a certain way. But if a character is designed only around delivering that, then he's still like a Shoto, right? Or related to that at least, right? If you want to call sub-archetype of a Shoto, right? Like aggressive Shoto, defensive Shoto, whatever. And Kyo would be an aggressive Shoto then. He lacks fireball. Or Ragnar. He can't really zone with his fireball, right?
You don't need... Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, you don't need to be able to zone with a fireball. You can use a fireball to get in someone's face too. I understand. Like Akatsuki, right? Akatsuki doesn't normally zone with fireballs. Yes, you can use it as such, but that's not the primary use of them. So, sure. I mean, that's it. I'm saying, like, it doesn't make sense why specifically Shoto needs to have these 3 moves. Like, why is that? Isn't Shoto more like what players have done with these characters? Because that informs game design over time, right? That's a question. I'm asking it.
I'm thinking.
Complicated archetype arguments.
Well, the problem is, then what the... Okay, so then let me ask you then, what defines a Shoto then? What is the Shoto experience compared to other fighting game archetypes?
Okay. Yeah.
If it's not the core moves that inform the gameplay, then what is it?
As I said before, and in a different discussions I said with you, to me it's like two things, right? One's the moveset, but like full moveset. The other is this for archetypes in general. And the other is like what sorts of fighting game situations you can make with that. Like what sort of playstyle situations, right? But also, I don't use definitions that you need to tick off every box and it fits in the definition. For me, definitions are things where it's like, okay, does it sort of fit together? Favorite example, since it's just an example out of literature to explain this concept, superheroes, right? A superhero is someone with a secret identity, superpowers, and I don't know, he fights crime, right? Whatever. But then you have superheroes who only have two of these things, right? Like Batman. Batman has a secret identity, he fights crime. 2 out of 3. And then you can, and then you can have someone who is like the Punisher, who you could say he fights crime, but he's more like a post-facto character. He doesn't have a secret identity. He has a costume, I guess, but yeah. Like you get characters that are related to characters that are related to characters that are related to characters that start to not resemble each other at all, but they form a continuity together. And then sort of when we talk about them in context as superheroes, yeah, Spider-Man, Punisher, like superheroes. Even though they don't fit in one definition block, right? Now, most people react to that and say, well, we'll just have to make the definition clearer to include many things. But like with superheroes, it just breaks down entirely.
Not clearer, but bigger, I guess?
That is the consequence, I think, personally, yes. So personally, I like more this family resemblances, it's called, right?
Yeah.
And if we then apply that to the Shoto thing, if, like, the core Shoto isn't this ticker of 3 moves. The core Shoto is Ryu, right? But Ryu, specifically in his traditional fighting game, no? And Ken, right? That evolved, though, over time. So it's not just them, but sort of what people made with them and what happened afterwards. So it's historical. So basically, just to take that example, right? Some people used some of these 3 moves to press a certain advantage. So Ryu zoning in Street Fighter 2, for example, you have like different speeds of fireballs, and then you trick someone into getting DP'd, or you trick them into doing a forward dash in between certain fireballs when you're going to Tatsu to get in close, and now you're plus in the situation that occurred because your movement was faster with light Tatsu. Those are like two things that are part of a Shoto zoning game, right? Not every Shoto can even do this, and it's not possible in every game. Try doing this in an air dasher, right? They don't have to approach you from the ground as much.
KOF Shotos, they cannot zone because the fireball is on the ground.
Yeah, like Terry Bogard, right?
Yori,
yeah.
That's like...
So that's it. And then the aggressive one, just to complete that, right? Where you use fireballs to go in, if at all, or just use DP as like a reversal tool as you go as to keep up pressure or to not lose pressure, right? So the anti-air quality of the DP doesn't even matter here. It's just being used as a reversal. And the Tatsu, either to have follow-ups with it, a la Misoguchi, right? Or to have just like a sort of pseudo confusion record, right? Am I doing 1 hits? Am I doing 3 hits? Akatsuki, right? Everybody gets hit by Chesto from Akatsuki, even though nobody understands why. Like, this game plan is there as well. These are two very core, I think, to the Shoto experience. Are they applicable to every single iteration of the games? No, they are not. But the three moves aren't themselves applicable as well to every situation, right? Sometimes you have a game where, yes, he has all 3 moves, but one of them is situational due to the way movement works in the game, right? Then, for example, like fireballs might be irrelevant in some of these, and someone just DPs and Tatsus and has a fireball. That's fine, as long as he still like has this idea of doing game plans like these, or ones that are closely related to it. Because I mean, the challenge when designing a new fighting game and new characters is that you want to deliver new experiences. So sure, you might make a Shoto, but you might give them some other things. So in Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, for example, Gran, right? Gran has a super aggressive Tatsu, but he also has this sort of charged sword slash thing, right? Which adds to the kind of gameplay of like what Shotos do to get in people's faces, which is not at all like a mix-up rushdown character. It's not like a frame trap, slow rushdown power character like blue hair guy from Blaze Blue.
Jin? No, blue.
Blue hair. Strong muscle man with blue hair from Blaze Blue. I forget his name.
Azra.
Azazel.
Yeah, Azra. Yeah, Azazel is a demon, but also a fighting game character. That's a different guy. Yes, Azrael. Exactly. These are all different, right? Like Guilty Gear is famous for like very different Okizeme characters, right? Like you have the ninja Chip, you have the rock witch, Ino, and you have hair girl, Milia Rage. Yeah. So these 3 are all rushdown, but the way they deliver that experience is very different, right? So same with other archetypes. You can have Shotos that differ, but still give you an experience that's related to that. So that's my full answer to your question. So there's not a set thing where I'm like, that's the Shoto. But there are things that you can use to make it more clear that something's a Shoto. And indeed, if you wanted to do that, you could list those 3 moves. But I do not think that that encompasses everything that Shotos do with those 3 moves. But also, they don't have to have just those 3 moves to be a Shoto. Sorry, I said that sentence wrong. Just having those 3 moves isn't sufficient, which is why I brought up Chip, right? Because Chip basically has these 3 moves, and he is not a Shoto. It's not the kind of experience that he delivers. It's not the moves themselves, but the moves themselves can be an indicator that that's a Shoto. But that's only one indicator, right? If that makes sense.
Sure, but it just brings me to the question, what is the Shoto experience?
I mean, I gave 2 examples.
Okay, let me rephrase that. What is the Shoto experience that is unique to the Shoto itself?
I think my 2 examples were unique to the Shoto themselves.
Okay. Fair.
I
mean, I could list them again. I did say a lot of things at once.
Yeah, the trap, basically. I mean, this gameplay and stuff like that. That is the idea of the gameplay of a Shoto that is dependent on some of its moves, but not necessarily all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand the idea behind that, but
like concrete example, really, right? Like Street Fighter 4 Ryu, because you have four dashes in that, right? Fireballs at different speeds to get someone to jump into them, but also to get them to jump into your DP, right? DP as an anti-air, not as a reversal.
Yes.
And then there are certain zones that you can create where they're dashing at you, and you can use a light Tatsu to be in a position where it's your turn to do pressure now because they moved into a bad position
exactly.
there, or you even punish them with it. Burn Knuckle is even better at this.
Yeah, when I think of Shoto, I think of that scenario. I throw a fireball, what are you gonna do? If you jump, I DP. If you don't jump, I can Tatsu to get in, build meter, or put myself in a more advantageous position.
Yeah, so that's...
That is...
trap.
Yeah, exactly. That I just gave a in detail thing of it. So that's one thing, right? But then you also have the thing with like, no, I don't need this as an anti-air. I'm going to use this as a reversal. I'm going to get in your face. I'm going to use my Tatsu to get in your face and to pressure you. Because you don't know if it's 1 hit or 3 hits, might be unclear. Maybe I have mix-ups with them, Misoguchi, right? And then my fireball, the only reason I have it is actually to just lock down so I can go forward. These are 2 experiences, but you could cut the fireball out of the rushdown one that I just mentioned, right? And you'd still have that experience, and it would not be like just some rushdown character. Right?
Yeah, but
that's still different. And with the zoning example, you can cut out the Tatsu, and you'd still have that, right? So you don't necessarily need all 3 moves. It's still the Shoto experience.
Ooh, nice. I will disagree because, like I said, the key, the core idea is that I could do, if I am a Shoto, I could do both of those things with a Shoto character. Now, one would be more optimized for either that offensive or defensive strategy of the list that you mentioned, but the option to do both is there, even if it's a suboptimal way to play the character in that situation.
Yeah, okay, but
there
we have
for example,
it.
like for the Tatsu, just for Tatsu, Super 2 Ryu doesn't use the Tatsu to move in, like in the ALO trap. What is ALO trap is basically like fireball, DP, or fireball like sweep. He doesn't use the Tatsu for that. Use the Tatsu
Vic, that's not what I said. I just said the option is there to do that. It might not be the optimal way to play the character.
No, but
like the option is there.
You said earlier also that you agree that the idea is more the gameplay, right? And the plan
experience.
you're doing. Yeah.
Right, the Shoto experience.
Exactly.
Yes.
Shoto experience is the ALO trap, and the ALO trap doesn't necessarily have the Tatsu, for example.
Yeah, so, which is why I specifically mentioned Street Fighter 4, because it doesn't work in 2. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's just clear, I guess, because it doesn't work there. I know.
Yeah, but see, the construction was that I then take out the Tatsu, and it still works as the Hado trap. Then.
Yeah.
Right. So I was just, full set, take one out, still the experience.
Yeah, that was basically just like the first the experience that we are like talking right now existed first before Street Fighter 4. That's weird for me to start at 4. Yeah, but I do get it.
Chronologically, yes.
My specific argument is the versatility behind that experience.
Yes. Now we understand, right? Your point is that you think the primary thing that should matter in a Shoto experience is that they could technically do both.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be optimal. It might be situational, but that they have the option of relying on DP Fireball or the option of relying on Tatsu DP. Just to give those 2 examples that I gave as 2 separate experiences, right? Yeah. But I will say though,
of a traditional, I would say traditional Shoto, yes.
Sure.
But then if you say traditional Shoto, what are the rest of Shoto, and do they really have the 3 move all the time? I feel like if you look into like what you think other Shotos like that are not traditional are, you'll see that a lot of them don't necessarily have the 3 moves.
Yeah, or like 3 moves that are optimized towards one very specific one of these 2 playstyles, right? That exists too, like Soul, right? Or Ragnar, whose Fireball has just morphed into Fireball and Wake Up. Yeah, I'm plus.
Yeah,
right?
Or you cannot zone at all with it. Even if you tried, it's not that it's just not optimal. It's not a zoning tool.
Yeah. So the Hado trap's gone, but the other experience of using it aggressively remains. So the the design goal of having a Shoto, but who did have a fireball, but couldn't actually use it to zone, was met. And that's how you make new characters, right? It's a specific Shoto, even though he can't do everything with his 3 tools, despite having them. So he doesn't actually have the 2 options, even though he has the 3 moves, right? I mean, I guess that was your point, Vic, now that I think about it. Sorry.
I'm so focused on trying not to die, I don't even remember.
No problem. It's just like...
I remember my initial point is, like, the Shonin's character needs to have the 3 core moves of Fireball, DP, Tatsu. Whether, and then I said something about versatility there, but I was thinking of more defensive Shotos, air quotes defensive Shotos, like, you know, your Ryu, your Kai.
Yeah, and classically, most defensive Shotos have 3 moves.
Because it is where the idea of the Shoto came from, so I put a lot of emphasis on that initial concept of what the character was designed to be, even if, as games have grown and evolved, that core kind of character doesn't really exist anymore. Much like how all Street Fighter 2 characters, of the original concept of what that character was in Street Fighter 2 doesn't really exist because it's not applicable anymore in what situations you could be put in a modern video game.
Yeah, I mean, that's why sometimes we're like, we're surprised by that, right? If it's like, oh wow, a Blanca, when it's just like really a Blanca, right? That's not usual anymore, to just have something so like... and by the way, I didn't want to open up a can of worms with what is Blanca. I just...
Oh, let's not.
I was just making an example.
I don't even think...
let's not. Did you not understand? Let's not open this can of worms.
Exactly, like I chose the wrong character. I was just picking a random example. Zangief. Like a theater Zangief, but... Yeah.
Like, what?
I have sick about Blanca.
Opinions on this.
Blanca is such a weird character, like, on paper. Like, how do you describe his gameplay style? Not even his core moves, but, like, how his moves work with his, like... and like how it changes in every game too. Like, it's...
If we do like a round table thing again, where we're discussing character archetypes, sometimes let's totally do that. But like I do have strong.
I know a guy who's doing that right now.
Yeah, but like I have strong and like informed opinions on this subject, but it's definitely A, contentious, and B, there's a lot of aspects to this. Like Blanca was really the worst example for me to pull out. It would be like...
Yeah, but him being the worst also makes him the most interesting.
I understand that, and I agree. I main Blanca, but like this is going away completely from what we were doing. Like I think it'd be better to stick with the Shoto thing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Shoto, to be fair, Shoto is also kind of like a bad example of this, because what defines a Shoto basically changes with every game, because every game thinks of a Shoto in a different way. Because
but that's every character. That's fighting game character.
Yeah, but there is so much more variance in what the Shoto is because of the inherent versatility of the core moveset.
I mean,
I disagree.
I think so. No?
Vic, you want to say something?
Because then it's funny that you say that there's so much variancy, but they cannot have two of the move and not 3. But yeah.
That is...
I understand. Yeah, I understand. The irony is not lost on me.
Yeah.
It is not, but I still can't in my own head.
It's just like, a character is not just a Shoto. A character is not just a grappler generally.
Yes.
Right. That's why, like, a Shoto is multiple things. Like, that's why it can have like only 2 of the 3 fucking thing. And wow, that didn't come up.
See, that's the thing. I don't think Shoto is multiple things. I just think that just more
I'm not
traits...
talking Shoto itself is multiple things. I'm saying a character that is a Shoto is also something else. Generally, there is no character that is pure Shoto, no character that is pure grappler.
Yeah, no, not anymore. Nowadays. Not. Okay. But because just other it's not homogenization, that's not the right word. Yes, more and more traits of other archetypes of fighting games get stapled onto one more character to deal with more situations or to further enhance other aspects of their gameplay and movesets. I understand that. I just think that in order for I'm just gonna talking in circles. I just think that in order for a character to be called a shoto, legally to be called a shoto, it should, in some form, have Fireball Tatsu DP.
Yeah, and you did say specifically so that part of the experience that you want there to be is the ability to change game plans, basically, between the Hado trap and the let's say the rushdown thing, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yes, because
the Ken mindset.
Sure. Well, that I kind of got off track there, but the reason why I brought that up is because, again, that was the original concept of Ryu, of the game plan of Ryu and Ken in Vanilla Street Fighter 2, is that they are all-around characters. They can't zone you like Sagat, they can't rush you down like, I don't know who's a good rushdown character in Vanilla Street Fighter.
You like Sagat so much.
Cammy, she's not good though.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like World Warrior, like original 8.
I don't think Sagat was in the original 8, was he?
Yeah, he was a boss character, but he's also
but he's not playable.
Don't add him.
He's not playable, but he is in the game. He is the boss character because he's the zoner.
The zoner in that game stalls him though. If you want the original 8, really.
Yeah, but I'm thinking Fireball zoners because, Shotos, so I'm in my brain I'm thinking Fireballs. But yes, Dhalsim. He can't zone you like Dhalsim. He's not a up-close, in-your-face, rush-down character.
The closest thing to Rushdown in Original 8, just to answer that question that you had, would be Chun-Li. Closest thing to, I want to say, because Chun-Li and a couple of other characters were formative of what then Rushdown characters became. They're not really... We wouldn't call them like that today, but back then it would be
true. Yeah,
Chun-Li run in your face and kick you till you die, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but she's like... Oh god, I do not want to say defensive rushdown because that doesn't make any sense.
No. There's
what I mean when I say that. Because
she's a charge character. She's a martial arts character, and for a while that was a thing. You had these characters that went in your face and had good neutral tools, but kept
she's a good neutral character.
Right?
Is what I'm trying to say. She's good at.
She's
really
just
good
no longer a thing.
Mid-range, yes. Yes, she's like, I guess, like a mid-range.
She's a charge character.
She doesn't be up close. She wants to be like...
exactly. Like Vick said.
Yeah.
No,
she's a charge character. She has good normals.
Yes, charge character with good normals, yes.
Yeah, it's she's just happens to doesn't have a sonic boom, but I guess she killed him, right?
I mean, she eventually did get a fireball, but it was more of a Shoto fireball. But yes, I mean, in terms of how it was used,
the Kyoken trap.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay.
I mean, she did get a DP in Super Turbo, so you could play Shoto.
Is Gael a Shoto?
Yeah. So personally, I think like that's easily answerable because we can just say charge characters aren't just charge characters; they're just also charge characters. So you can say Gael is a charge Shoto, and I would be fine with that.
He has no Tatsu
as well. Yes.
He has no Tatsu. He has Knee Bazooka as a command normal.
But that's not.
But that is not that exactly. Yeah. You're right. And I don't know any Gael character that A has a Tatsu, or B
Remy
doesn't have some other way of moving forward through a command normal.
Well, in that archetype...
Well, okay, that might be a thing, but I'm just saying like a lot of them have that. Like Guru-chan, what's her name? Batista, right? Batista doesn't have doesn't have a Tatsu, but she can switch sides with her rushing forward.
That look like a Tatsu.
Well, because the idea is that it's for positioning, basically.
Wait.
That is...
Her force function is flying.
I don't remember anything about Batista.
What is
she is one of the...
Yeah. It's just her dashing C, the one where she spins and goes through the other guy. Yeah.
Mr. M. White, it's not on Fightcade, it's on Menafin. So nope. I wish it was on Fightcade. Maybe soon, depending on Flycast progress on other console. But yeah.
Yeah, this is a Sega Saturn game basically. So it's emulation via Metnafen. It's server-based netplay, so if you run a server, netplay is pretty good because you can just do it locally. For more information, check out the Asuka Discord or the Asuka Wiki on Mizumi.
You can type like a exclamation mark Asuka, and you'll have like the wiki and the server and stuff like that. Let me do that quickly, I think. Yep, there you go. So yeah, we just wanted to say.
You can also just ask questions. That's fine.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry for the interruption, Hoarseplay. Just
yeah.
This is an Asuka stream.
Yeah, we haven't talked about Asuka in like what, an hour?
Well, I mean, that it's fine.
I'm fine. Like, just like I'd want to answer this question. Like, I didn't want to answer it more, but yeah, you just like cannot wait like for one of you to finish like your point in 30 minutes.
Yeah. What were you saying, Hoarseplay? Oh yeah, we were talking about like
I was saying that Chun-Li is technically a Shoto in Super Turbo because she did get a DP. I brought that up. She has her upkicks in that game.
Yeah, but then Guile, do you say that Guile is a Shoto or not?
I think that
I would say
she's just a charge character Shoto, right?
A charge character is kind of its own archetype, but I would say technically because of how the bazooka is used for positioning after a fireball.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, but then like it still doesn't have a Tatsu in itself, right?
Yeah,
like the Knee Bazooka is basically a solar plexus of Ryu.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so I said Shoto needs the three moves: Fireball, Tatsu, DP. I didn't specify they don't have to be special moves. It's something
that changed everything though. For once.
I suppose. Okay.
Sure. I mean, I also said the full moveset is what matters for Shoto. I did say that as well because I do think that there are certain kinds of normals that are emblematic for certain things, but I don't think that any definition of Shoto you can just do, I have a 6-6 normal.
Yeah.
And then you're fine with not having a Tatsu. I mean, certainly, to a certain extent, that's true.
If it has the same function as a Tatsu, then I think it's fine.
When you say you have the 3, it implies as 3 specials, right?
Yeah, fair.
So
that's fair.
Does that mean that if I have a crouching heavy punch like Guile, that I can like abscond and be like he doesn't need a flash kick or a DP? If I have a 6P that works, is that good enough? I mean, I can use it to right.
If the 6P acts like a DP, then yeah.
Yeah. If Guilty Gear, you have a character who has a fireball but doesn't have a DP, he just has 6P, and he doesn't have a Tatsu, he just has 6-6 running normals, right? Does that make him a Shoto? I don't think so. Like, because that's what we're saying here. If we're saying that it's not a move that you have to. Which one?
He has like a Tatsu moving forward. She has like a DP, and she has like a fireball.
It depends on the game.
Yeah.
It depends on the game, honestly. Sometimes in some games she is, in some games she's not.
Which Mai? So just so I know what you're talking about.
Shinobu.
Oh no, we were talking about Guilty Gear. So I was like, Totsugeki.
Totsugeki. May,
I guess.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, that's the thing, right? Like she move forward. She go up.
She fireballing.
Doesn't have.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess she has a beach ball, right?
I don't play nearly enough Guilty Gear to answer that question.
She's not a Shoto.
She's not a Shoto at all.
All I know is that May is a charge character, and she has a command grab.
Yes.
She does have a command grab, because, I mean, like, the people at Arc System... Exactly. They're in love with SNK. They could never bring themselves to make their characters quite as diverse as SNK characters, but they are pretty diverse. They just make new characters.
To be fair, I don't think you would be able to get away with having characters as diverse as SNK on top of just how complex the system mechanics in Guilty Gear are.
I think they're more diverse than SNK, but I think that's all a whole different type.
Yeah, different kind of diversity, right? They have very new and diverse gameplays and kind of moves, but the characters are... The characters feel centered around their options, right? Whereas SNK characters have like a ton of things that they can do. I think that's sort of the difference.
Yeah, but
they're both diverse
look
in
at
different
Soul,
ways.
Right? He has command grab, he has DP, he has Tatsu, he has pretty much everything.
Yep,
outside really of Fireball too. So I think it's same diversity and crazier diversity, I feel too.
I don't know. Like, I don't think you find something as weird as Yamazaki, for example. I know that's an extreme example.
I
but,
don't think Yamazaki is that crazy, personally, to me. Johnny is crazier to me than like what Yamazaki is, I guess.
But I feel like basically Johnny has his. I mean, he's like this perfect
Johnny doesn't have a counter,
right?
Johnny doesn't have a counter.
Johnny doesn't have a counter, sure, and he doesn't have command grabs, but he has other. He has like he has Mistfinder, right?
Yeah, he has Mistfinder,
is very different.
Which makes his Yaido unblockable.
It makes like any of his Yaido actually be a command grab, right?
Yeah, I guess it's a proximity unblockable with the proximity being quite large, but yeah.
Proximity off screen is pretty okay.
Yeah. Half screen situational proximity unblockable.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just vacuum people into your arms and throw them, Taker.
Zangief used to have a full screen proximity unblockable.
You mean Rainbow?
No.
Oh, you mean that bug with this?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, with the mythical 10-0 matchup. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say I think that the diversity of a fighting game is on a sliding scale between its characters and its systems. And it's generally...
It's just both. I wouldn't even call that a scale.
But what I mean is that, generally speaking, if a game has, like, if the movesets of a character are just intrinsically detailed or just out there, then the system mechanics are slightly more simple or are more universal. Whereas you can have a game with a simple moveset, but the systems are the ones that are the most important part of the matchup. You know what I mean? Am I not making sense here?
It makes sense. I'll say that I agree only if we're talking about like the first iterations of such games, because if we talk about plus R, you just have both of those things cranked to the max, right? Characters with a ton of moves.
Yeah, but you just said that they're not as out there as SNK's style of characters. So I'd say that...
Yes.
Okay, it just depends on what out there, right? For me,
exactly. Like, that's why I say it's just different diversity. I just corrected myself because indeed that's not true.
If we are talking about diversity of like stuff together, I can see. If you're talking about out there as like character, like Guilty Gear is way crazier.
Yeah. Yes. Or Blaze Blue even more extreme, right? Depending on it's in another different way.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Axis are more crazy.
Systems.
Maybe they are not all mashed up together, except some exception. Yeah. KOF characters have more to them, but not all of them. Like
that's true too, of course. There are characters that are just strictly one thing in SNK as well.
Athena.
Athena. Though she has a lot of things, yes. Athena is a shoulder. We can agree, right? Like
yes.
Yeah. Like
she doesn't have a Tatsu.
She does not have a Tatsu, but she has a command dash for in some games.
She has a teleport dash, but yeah, no like Tatsu.
I was gonna say that her dive kick is her Tatsu. Her Phoenix arrow, because you can just instant air that.
But that's different, right? That's.
It's also like if you were still talking like about like earlier, or you were saying that you can do like the ALO tribe with the Tatsu. That's not how this movie is used at all. It's not the purpose for that, so it's not a Tatsu.
I just said it had to be there.
Yeah, it has to be here, but it's not even here. It's not a Tatsu. It's a dive kick.
It's an air Tatsu.
No. There's something to be like trying to stretch it.
Yeah, dive kicks are different things. Like dive kicks and dash normals are also different in terms of like what sorts of like what's the word? Dedication's not the right word. Like
literally an air Tatsu. What are you talking about?
What? It's a dive kick. It like goes like in diagonal, like down, like.
It's a Tatsu that goes diagonal downwards.
But that's a dive kick. Just because like, someone's
doesn't
spinning
have
their
a Tatsu. Young has a fucking dive kick. I don't know.
The purpose of dive kicks is also different to Tatsus, even though there are fighting game situations where indeed you could instant air dive kick someone and where you could have Tatsu'd them if you had one. But that's it, just because a tool can be used for two things doesn't it doesn't mean it's like the same tool, right? Like
I was just about to say I can't think of any shoulder that has both the Tatsu and a dive kick that I remember the Kumi exists.
Yeah. I mean, like that's the guy, right?
Exactly.
Akuma, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what he said. What? He has a Tatsu and a dive kick.
Yeah.
Except when he doesn't, yeah. But yes.
I mean, that's what he said. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. You don't need a dive kick to be a shoulder though, and you don't need dive kick to be to be like the whatever the hell Evil Ryu and Akuma are, right? Like just low health evil Shoto, right? Who does a lot of damage. You don't necessarily need what Akuma has.
Okay. I want to elaborate on what I was talking about with at the end of being a Shoto. Is that yes, she has her teleport, which is the function of the teleport was changed to 2 different moves. Is what I'm trying to say here.
That's true.
Because normally in the Hado trap, you'd use the Tatsu to get in, but in Akin's case, you use the Fireball. But if you want to, oh come on,
you can use a command grab as an anti-air. See.
Yeah.
Against a dive kick Tatsu.
I can zone with my DP. Look at NPB.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
NPB even has Dalsum in it. It's just a Lovecraftian meat horror girl. Sorry, it's just because earlier we said like there's no such thing as Dalsum in no modern games. Like Saya is the Dalsum.
Oh, no.
Phonon,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, Phonon.
Yeah, to move even like one step more removed, but still related away, right? Yeah.
It also depends. Like, do you want Dalsim? Let's not go on Dalsim because Dalsim is like
It's like a blunt. Is Billy Kane a Dalsim?
Yeah.
Are we counting Billy Kane as a Dalsim?
What?
Are we counting Billy Kane as a Dalsim?
Billy Kane? No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay.
Yeah, no. That is why, like Vick said, let's move away with that, because then we're starting to talk about like how is range used, what is zoning with normals. There's like a kind of character that I like. I like to call control character, which is more like what Phonon does. Dalsum is right in between those things, so it's like I think that limb zoning in general is between those two.
Which Dalsum are we talking about?
Street Fighter 2 Dalsum, just to make it like super simple. Just
okay, all right.
It's the same as like Street Fighter 4 and stuff. It uses limbs. It doesn't use a whip like Phonon, by example, where she basically has no hotbox on most of her whip stuff. Yeah. It's like they do they're basically poke zoner type of thing, but they do like function differently in some ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like not really it's a full archetype. It's like somewhat archetype. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you described it once as it's more like a feel rather than a moveset. Like exactly. Personally, I think it's like it causes situations that are different, basically. Yeah. Like if this character just likes whipping you at mid range and whipping you at long range, and it's like, in a sense, she's zoning you. I mean, literally, she's confining you to a zone,
control,
right? Yes. But zoners usually do more like if Hado traps were just projectiles, right? That's more like what traditional quote unquote zoners do, right? But that's very different to what Dalsum's trying to accomplish with his limbs, and what Phonon's trying to accomplish with her whip. But they overlap, so that's fine. That
which is why I tend to make a separate category for like anti-approach and just simply long range.
Yeah. Okay.
So I feel like anti-approach is a better.
That's probably what I'd call control.
It's a better descriptor of what people think of zoning, or more lame play characters than zoning.
Oh, I see. That's how you were going to. That's the direction you were going. Okay, like
because like
peacock shoot bang.
Yeah. My goal is to keep you the fuck away from me.
But
the entire fight. or as much as I can.
As someone that has played zoners for quite a while, I feel like that's really not
so much
the main goal of zoning.
Yeah, not anymore, because games are trying to get rid of zoning.
Ever. Just playing keep away is only a part of something that's a gameplay. It's for one specific situation. Because
starting to disagree with you there.
Old Sagat indeed can just tiger shot all day, but that's very rare. Normally, what you do with a zoner is that at some point the mix-up is not to shoot and to attack the other guy, right? And I don't mean full screen. That's why being full screen, which is what you're trying to do with just keep away, is not usually what you want to do with a zoner. You also don't want to be trapped in the corner, which would be a consequence of just playing keep away all day without moving forward.
I want to disagree too, but I mean, yes, I do know what you're talking about. I think it's...
Yeah, I'm just saying it's too simplistic to say like zoning's just keep away. It's not, right? That's just a part.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. Sorry, like it's just, you know, like all these videos about like this is what zoners about. You know what they're about? Annoying the opponent. You know why I think so? Because I hate fighting zoners and they annoy me. That's really the person that shouldn't be talking about what a zoner is.
But it's half true though, as they are designed so much to frustrate you, as like you lose patience and you run into the project more and more.
It's definitely a part of it, I'd say, but I think it's definitely not 50%. It's lower.
Yeah, which is why I specifically use the term anti-approach. I'm punishing you for making reckless moves trying to get in on you by keeping you out more and more, which makes you more frustrated, makes you want to get in more, and it creates this loop, this cycle.
Yeah, but that's also what I was reacting against, right? Because it's just one thing. Keep out, right?
Yeah.
It's just one thing. You don't want to just do keep out. You want to mix up keep out with going in, because you don't want to lose the space. Fighting games are still like a space control game. Even though some games are like, I'm in your face now, haha, block this. It still means you won the entire stage in terms of space control. Yeah, it's just... Zoning should not just keep away. People that don't like being shot at say that, and they need to just bite the bullet literally.
I mean, I never said it was just keep away, but...
Well, we were trying to say like differentiation of like characters that are more built around keep away or more built around this other thing that you said. You said you split the definition between people that like are anti-approach and people that zone, or something like that.
Yeah, and I had a point about that, and I just lost it. It's gone.
Okay, that's fine. We can just drop that. That's okay. So, Shodos, central to the experience that it could technically do both. That was basically your position. And then you asked me, or us, are there other kinds of experiences that Shodos deliver to the player? And we gave like the Hado Trap and the kind of Ken Masters Rushdown, right? Because they're also Shodo experiences. Switching between the two is definitely its own kind of experience, but it doesn't mean that it's like above the others. That's just 3 different experiences of what a Shodo can give you. And these 3 experiences are different to other archetypes, because zoners don't do Hado traps, or not like that at least, and Rushdown doesn't do Ken Masters gameplay, or at least not exactly like that, right? Like, these are unique to the Shodo. They're all Shodo experiences. A character that delivers one of these 3 things, I think, is a Shodo, right? Like, that's fine, because he delivers something that only a Shodo can, which is what you asked. Because you said, if they can't switch between the 2, what's the experience then? Those are 2 examples. So I don't see why like any of these 3 is better than the others. Basically. That's the where the argument is right now, I think.
Yeah.
Just why is it specific to Shotos that they need to be able to swap between the two when there are other things that Shotos are also known for, right? That's kind of the thing. And those things aren't reliant on them having all 3 tools, is the other thing. Yeah. And I guess the wider point is just like characters are many things. Because I do think it's important to remember that archetypes is really more like a communication thing about characters. Because the actual concrete things, sort of, I mean, they're digital, but the concrete things that exist in fighting games are ultimately characters, right? It's like Terry Bogard and Kai Kiske, right? Like those are the actual people that one has. Shoto itself doesn't really exist, but communicating about characters, you can talk about what a Shoto is, right? So yeah, like you don't have like the archetypes in the heaven of archetypes, and then in the real world there's just like pale reflections of them. It's just no, like you have the characters, and when we talk about them, we make archetypes to ease discussion or how we think about their game plan, so it's easier to talk about. Is how I look at that. Just yeah.
Yep, makes sense to me.
But that's armor?
No, that was a clash. That was a clash. She has an initial clash frame before she grabs. So if you clash with it once, she'll grab you right after.
Huh. Okay.
Yep. I think all of her grabs, right, have like a clash before them, right?
I don't know.
I'm asking Vic. He'd know.
Sorry, I was writing something. What was the question?
Don't all of Cathy's grabs have like a clash before them? So
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And it's cool that exists, right? Because
except
then
the super forward, I think.
But oh, yeah. I see. Okay. Yeah. But it's cool that exists, right? Because then you go to Arcana Heart, which has like a very detailed clash system, and you look at Kira, and you can do like Lightning Kira, and you very specifically have I clash with my chest as I grab you.
Yep.
Just yeah, it's like yeah. Cathy's not Zangief either, but yeah. It doesn't need green hand. It's like
I mean, with a clash system like this, you don't really need
it. But that's probably why, right? Because green hand's really like a tool to help with fireballs. Now that in Street Fighter 2 it doesn't actually help you that much, no. It's a different thing. But the intent of the move. Yeah, exactly. That's sort of the thing.
Because they had to. Because initially they buff Lariat so you can move during it to help you get around fireballs, and it wasn't enough.
Good enough.
Yeah. So Green Hand was like, you know, you get more meter because you're swatting away the fireball. You know, it's. But again, it had a very hyper-specific use that just wasn't really being met. Oh shit.
And then you have Street Fighter 4, and it's like, shit, he used EX Green Hand? I'm dead.
He has combos now. Oh god.
Yeah. Not just that, right? Even if he steps in and doesn't hit you, he'll step in and then he'll command grab you, right? Like it works as intended in Street Fighter 4. Like it's
it works as intended as it was programmed in Street Fighter 4. In Street Fighter 2, it was not designed to do that because or in the Alpha games. But wait, did he have Green Hand in Alpha?
I think so, but I'm not sure right now.
I think it's only Alpha 3 or something. I don't remember. It's been a while.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
I don't know. My favorite version is Zangief is still World Warrior because he has like 12 grabs. That's my favorite. I like that.
Ball crushing, biting,
face crush, stomach crush, regular suplex, regular pile driver, regular suplex. I said that already. He has air throw. Remember he had an air throw? He had multiple air throws actually. He had a toss behind you.
Maybe.
He had let's see.
Well, yeah, and spinning
I said
DP. Like
yeah. I'm trying to say base to B for last.
Yeah, and that's why like in Fatal Fury 2, you had like what's his name? Lightning? Raiden. And Raiden doesn't have a command grab input, right? He just has a bunch of command normal grabs, like Zangief, right? And that he's still grappler in that sense, right?
And he has a projectile.
I didn't know that, but oh yeah, you mean the burp thing is
yeah, the green mist.
Yeah,
and it's active as fuck too.
Yeah,
it's so active.
Yeah, I mean it's like Yoga Flame, right?
Yeah, literally.
Yoga Fire?
Flame.
I get those.
No,
confused.
it's Flame. It's Flame.
It's Flame.
Because it's stationary,
yeah. Something that didn't survive, but I saw some people refer to it like this, and I was like, wow, yeah, I guess that's a thing, is that, like I saw someone streaming Samurai Showdown 7, and they were like, someone that plays like a lot of video games, and he played for a while, so he's played Street Fighter 2, so he's looking at the move list of some Sam Show character, and he's like, and this is a Yoga Flame, okay, got it. And I'm like, what? What? But what he meant was, it's a half circle.
Yeah.
That is technically accurate, yes.
Yeah. Like, I think that's interesting, because that's definitely not survive, right? Like, it's not something people say about half circles anymore.
I mean, to be fair, I do that. I mean, to be fair, I do that a lot. When I want to talk about fighting game moves to friends of mine that aren't all that familiar with fighting games, but they know Street Fighter, I just say, oh, it's the move that has the same input. Or I'll say, when I say a lot, is fireball with kick. Because you know exactly what I mean when I say that, even if that's not what the move's function is.
Yeah, sure, I do understand. To people more in the know, I say stuff like flash punch, right?
Fair.
So it's and the reverse too, even though that's rarer, so it doesn't come up as often, like punch flash, where it's like, what the fuck? You know, like a flash kick just in reverse and with punch instead of kick. It's a punch flash, just an up down charge with punch. But yeah, sure. If you know who you're talking to, you can say that. So, but you wouldn't say like it's a Yoga Flame, because they might think that you mean it's like the move rather than like the input. You'd say it's like a Yoga Flame input, like you just said, right?
Yeah.
So that works. But someone literally just saying this is a Yoga Flame.
Yeah,
but it's a move with a sword.
Yeah, but consider this though. We still use the phrase "tiger knee" when talking about that specific motion.
Yeah, I said what I meant by that basically is it's interesting because the Yoga Flame thing didn't survive at all, but stuff like Tiger Knee did. I mean, DP did.
Yeah. Okay, fair. DP, Tatsu. But I'm trying to think, what other half circle moves are there in Street Fighter 2 specifically?
Kyoken.
Yeah, but that became a charge input later.
Yeah.
But yeah,
because she lost her other charge. Because first down up is spinning bird kick, but then it's back forward because she had a down up anti-air kick. Then she lost that one, and then spinning bird kick is down up again, and back forward is Kyoken. It is like a mess.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's why I didn't keep around, because it didn't stick. Except for when it does sometimes, because, you know, whether Chun-Li's a charge or a motion character just seems kind of arbitrary at this point.
As a obstacle, the chicken wings and stuff, right?
Who?
What?
Fei Long.
I didn't hear the character.
Fei Long, yeah, but it's not a... yeah.
Yeah, it's
the chicken
obstacle.
wing...
Like, there's a... Maybe not chicken wing, I don't know which one they...
No, chicken wing isn't half circle. It's like half circle to up, I think. But I think that's...
So it doesn't go to up.
No, Tiger Knee is quarter circle, technically.
Not the original move. To be fair, the Tiger Knee is older than Sagat, right? The first one with a Tiger Knee is actually Andy Bogard.
Wait a minute.
Just saying.
Wait a minute. Okay, hold on a minute.
In the original Japanese release, the moves were simplified for the US release.
Hold on a minute. I need to look at this.
Lore. But regardless, if that's a half circle, yes, then Fei Long would have long. I don't remember what the input is of that move right now. But I think there's other half circle moves,
Okay,
right?
it is half circle. It's half circle down, back to up, forward. His Fei Long's kick thing.
Down to back up forward.
Yeah, 1 to 9.
1 to 9. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's the original Tiger Knee.
Okay,
I know it changed, but like, yeah.
Okay, it says, oh yeah, Tiger Knee, yeah, it's right there.
Yep, 1 to 9.
What? Okay.
Fatal Fury 1 input. Existed first.
All right.
But but yeah, like
I thought it was 239 for the longest time.
That's what it became, and that's what people refer to now because that's what you input, right? That's why they call it Tiger Knee. Quarter circle, and then the buffer timing of the input reader is used to get off the air, but still fire the aerial.
Yeah, you want to do it in your pre-jump frames.
Yeah, exactly. So normally it ends up being 2, 3, 6, 9, which is why I think people usually call it TK because of that.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, TK now is just a DP input, right? Well, it's
no, DP is DP.
You
no,
know,
so right, Tiger DP. Ah, fuck. Isn't it DP kick for Tiger Knee in modern games?
Tiger.
What?
I don't know.
I have no
I genuinely
idea
don't
what you're
know.
talking about. Tiger Knee, TK is just
He's
Tiger Knee.
talking how to do Tiger Knee in Street Fighter 5. Right? Is it still
Street Fighter 4 and 5 Sagat input is not a Tiger Knee for his Tiger Knee.
No.
It's
a DP kick, right?
I don't play Sagat, so I don't know.
Oh, that's what you mean exactly. That's what, like,
yeah.
Okay.
I was just saying that shifted
it's
away.
definitely not a Tiger Knee, like you have to end like in upward. Definitely not.
Yeah.
I forgot
it's either
if
a
it's
quarter
like
or a DP input.
DP or reverse DP, I forgot.
Yeah. So some regular input anyway, we can agree on that, right? So it just shifted away, right? And I think that because people use Tiger Knee as 2, 3, 6, 9, it's kind of gives the backwards reflection that that must be how Tiger Knee used to be performed, but start at 1, go all the way up. I do think that there are some versions though of Sagat where he doesn't have to start at 1, but I don't think that's Street Fighter 2, if there is such a version. Like, I don't know about Street Fighter EX or Alpha, right? I have no idea.
I don't play Sagat, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to probably say Street Fighter 4 because that was around the time where fighting games started making their input simpler. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure like he started way earlier for that type of move.
Yeah. So maybe EX2 and Alpha already.
Yeah, but Alpha didn't have like that.
Yeah. But yeah, like there are some move names that we use to describe either the use or the input, even though they're neither of these things.
Yeah.
Right?
Rekka.
It's cool.
Rekka. Yeah, Rekka. Exactly.
Yeah. Rekka's not even the first Rekka, right? Like, whatever.
Is it?
Mizoguchi is earlier. Fei Long's a ripoff of Mizoguchi. Mizoguchi does Kurosaki 4. It's like originally it's also like Kurosaki forward, Kurosaki forward. Like he does other follow-ups in between his quarter circles. And then he did quarter circle, and Fei Long is just quarter circle. Rekkas. But like Mizoguchi is first, and it's chesto too, right? Like so.
Yeah.
Doubly cool.
In my defense, I don't remember the last time I played Fighters History 1. So I'll have to.
That's fair.
Take a look at that.
Yeah, the input's very strange. Like, yeah, because it's quarter, then you have a different follow-up, and then quarter again, different follow. Like you do other inputs during that, right? It's but it's definitely like a Rekka. Like it's just like a Rekka with additional things. It's just strange from a modern perspective, because I mean, like Fei Long wasn't around at that point. Because at first, I mean, like Capcom was like, "We're suing you," and then it's like, "You lost. Well, then we'll take your characters just like you took ours." Go ahead. That was the point. Just and I guess they also had the desire to have Bruce Lee in their game, to be fair. And Mizoguchi's not.
Ken Dragon. Yeah, he was before Fei Long. Yeah.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. Like from World Heroes, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Exactly. Too bad we didn't get a Street Fighter Ryuko, right? That would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be neat.
Because that was the other person that was important.
Ryoko Tani, female gold medalist in judo, who...
Yeah. But yeah, we know who she is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you say, Vic?
Was supposed to be able.
Oh yeah, right.
Technically, no, but I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, because I guess she has like takedown grabs, right? And she rolls in, so sort of, right?
Yeah.
That's
and like Abel was supposed to be like a
I mean.
female character until he changed. So
yeah, shortly before Street Fighter 4's release, to everyone's confusion. Well, to everyone's confusion who knows, I mean, most people don't even know Abel was supposed to be a girl. So, yeah.
Abel would have been really cool as a waifu.
Yeah, let's play Street Fighter 4 so that we can relive this as an actuality.
Or 5. Abel's in there too. Also, I don't know. I still don't like the design of Prototype Abel. I get the idea of what they're going for. I just don't like it. It feels like it's missing something.
I see. I don't know. We're talking about the one that just has like the baggy pants right in the shirt.
Yeah, the Sarasa, yeah.
Yeah, like I thought it's a sketch, right? We don't know how it would be implemented, but I think that works.
I don't know. It's
fair enough. That's an opinion thing.
To be fair, when I look at it, like, this is a really good design on paper, but I can't imagine seeing it animated in that Street Fighter 4 art style and it looking good.
Okay, I mean that is an issue. I feel like that's another issue, but that is definitely an issue. Sure.
Well, because I'm trying to imagine what would this character look like in Street Fighter 4, and like, I'm not seeing it.
Like a Makoto hair. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of too, because she has like the baggy pants. Sure, it's a gi, that's different kind of baggy, but like that seems to work out for her. And then just give her like a, like KOF 13 Leona, right? Who's just like shirt, pants, just in KOF in Street Fighter 4 art style. So I think that's okay.
Yep.
I don't know. I have many misgivings about like the art style, not the quality of KOF 13, but Leona from KOF 13.
Yeah, me too.
Excellent, super good.
I think it's. I don't like it, but I think it's very smart how they designed Leona, because she looks like. It's like they recontextualized her to look like she was always a member of the Ikari Warriors, like back of the original arcade game.
Yeah, rather than like this specialist that gets shoved in, which, to be fair, that is what she looks like in the prior games.
Yes, but it's also like incredibly smart to design it that way because the outfit is very simple. You don't have to. Very simple because we all know about how characters were designed and modeled and sprited over, and how long it took for every individual KOF 13 character. So having a character that has a very simple, clean design, and it works very well for Leona, and it makes the Ikari Warriors look more like a proper team. I like it.
Yeah. I also like that she's...
Go ahead.
Yeah, I like that she's like slightly more buff. Her aggressive stance with her legs and also having the hands forward like that. I think that it just looks really, really cool. That's sort of what I like about
Leona. Leona was always buff. It was just hard to tell because she had that strap where her knife goes, so it was always kind of hard to tell, but...
Sure, but now there's more emphasis on it because you can see, right?
You can see it, so
and her leg stance is wide, right? So she takes up more space, and her arms are like in front of her, right? Like, I don't know. The whole package there of that, right? Her hair is also a bit more aggressive, but fuck that. That's just a side point.
Her hair is. I like her wilder hair in the older games. How it really emphasized her movement.
Sure.
Because her outfit didn't have a lot of because her hair was what gave her secondary animation. Because everything else she wears is kind of just like regular form-fitting gear. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah. But sure, just...
Yeah. No, it's a really smart design. I still prefer her classic 97 look. 14 is... It warmed up on me a little bit, but I still don't like it as much as either 13 or 97.
Yeah, I mean that's always like a difficult position to hold. Like, what's your favorite KOF visually? 14. It's like you can hear a pin drop in the room after that one. It's like...
Well, I do like that 14 redesigned the entire cast. I love when SNK does that, even if the designs aren't my favorites. I love the willingness to change an established character's look, even if it's something minor, like Terry getting his full jacket like he did in Fatal Fury 1. Like that's neat. I like seeing stuff like that.
Yeah, it's also something I like about Guilty Gear, for example. Like, I really like how they redesign stuff. I think Potemkin's a bit extreme, but I mean, he looks... yeah, right? Like you can't...
You don't like Panzerfaust?
I do like Panzerfaust, and he's totally a ripoff of Panzerfaust now. But like, the thing is that like in May's versus dialogue, if you win against Exart Potemkin, she's like, "Oh no, what are you, a robot? Like beep boop, please don't kill me," is what she says. Like, yes, he's not recognizable as a guy, really. Like, yes, you can see like part of his neck, right? So yeah, but if someone were, for example, to say something, what about like notable black fighting game characters? People don't even think about Potemkin anymore, right? Because you don't notice until Faust shoves his fingers in there, right?
I can't think of anyone that brought up Potemkin in that context.
Right? But he totally is. Yeah, but he totally is. Right?
I mean,
so
I don't... I mean, Zep's not a real place, but sure, if you want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's also not African American, but like most black people aren't African American anyway, right? So just saying black fighting game characters, right? So sure, he's from a fictional country, doesn't matter. I mean, Zep still has like ancestors in the people from Zep are originally from... I'd have to ask Shiroka again. Like, aren't some of them from Zimbabwe or something? I don't know. I might be confused.
I have no idea.
Who cares? He's a black fighting game character. That's all I'm saying, right?
Sure,
people might remember Venom but like he has the hair over his face.
Yeah, but when I see Venom, I just think British.
Yeah, I guess he's more like...
He's a 10 Garu guy.
I mean, yes, his design concept is Gyaru, obviously, but...
Yeah.
I don't know, when I see Venom, it's like same thing with Dudley. Like, I don't see black guy. I see, he's British. He's just dark-skinned British guy.
But that's like a very African American concept of what a black man is. That's so specific to some tiny part of the world. So it's just like, if we're just talking like in general, just in general, right? They don't even have to have African ancestry unless we're talking like a couple of thousand years ago. But like I think at least like Exard Venom is trying to evoke that to some degree. But I would agree with you guys that that's not his original intent. But Potemkin totally is.
Try to evoke like any black ancestry. That's what you're saying, right?
Why did I do that?
Just from the way he looks in Exard, not before or... I don't know how he looks in Street Fighter 5.
Like from his facial feature when you really see them.
Yeah, I do think that's I do think they did the face differently to make it look more like that, but then they didn't really do it in Strive, so I don't know.
Venom is not...
Whatever.
Okay, what are we talking
Whatever,
about?
I agree that that's not... I agree that that character is not designed for that anyway, right? So I'm saying that's circumstantial to Exar.
How did we get here?
Potemkin totally is, right? So yeah. Even through the Daisuke artwork, which looks like, I don't know, weird.
Daisuke's artwork is very weird. I like it.
Yeah.
I wish the games looked more like his artwork.
Yeah. So Potemkin's redesign to just cover everything is kind of extreme, is what I'm saying. But even then, Guilty Gear character redesigns are cool. I like what they did with Emilia Rage over the years, right? That's
Strive is the best version of Emilia, straight up.
I agree with that, but it wasn't my point.
Media or me?
Emilia Rage, the girl with the hair. I mean, May got redesigned a lot too. I guess I prefer Pirate May, but I like the new May. So.
I don't like Strive May.
Okay. Yeah.
She doesn't look like a Guilty Gear character. You know what I mean? She just looks like some girl just on her day off.
Personally, I think that's emblematic about new characters that were added to Exart and new characters that are in Strive. No, in Strive, I feel like it's. Because I do think that what's his name looks like a Guilty Gear character.
Gold Lewis?
Nigoriyuki.
Oh, Nigoriyuki.
But not Gold Lewis.
Okay.
That's sort of my thing. Gold Lewis reminds me kind of like how Elfeld and other characters that were new to Exart were added to Exart. They don't have that Guilty Gear feel, I feel. But some of the new Strive characters do. So I guess it's just trying to be more things.
I think it's very subjective, personally, because I think, like, for me, like,
sure.
Gold Lewis and Alfred do feel Guilty Gear-ish.
I think Gold Lewis's has a lot of Guilty Gear embellishments, but his silhouette isn't very Guilty Gear. But his weapon, like, all the things about him that aren't his clothes are very Guilty Gear. Is what I'm saying? Like, yeah, his weapon, Guilty Gear. His weird one-eye shades, fucking Brandon Heat looking ass. Yeah, that's very Guilty Gear. But his clothes being like, yeah, he's just wearing a suit. You know what I mean?
Could you just tell me which character again? I blanked out for a second. Gold Lewis. Okay.
Yeah, his weapon is Guilty Gear. His weird glasses are Guilty Gear. A lot of his accessories are Guilty Gear. But just him, his regular clothes just being like a suit. It's like, it's kind of boring, you know?
I mean, Slayer has a suit.
Venom as part of the suit.
I mean, I agree, right? I'm just saying, like, for me, it's not just the suit. I think those paraphernalia that you mentioned are just not very much like other paraphernalia of other Guilty Gear characters. I do think, however, that he fits into, like, the look that they started going with Exart.
Yeah.
I mean, fair that people are trying to tell me that's it's definitely subjective of what I think belongs to Guilty Gear. Sure. I'm just saying, like, that doesn't give me the feel that prior Guilty Gear characters gave in their design. But, as I said, some of the new additions to Strive do that. So I think that's my personal interpretation, rectifying what happened in Exart.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm not saying you're wrong or anything, right? I'm just saying that it's definitely, like, subjective on, like, what you feel about a Guilty Gear and what you want out of it, right?
Yeah, certainly. Because, I mean, like, ultimately, sure, Bastard is a main inspiration, but, like, it looks nothing like Bastard. And the characters are, like, from Guilty Gear 1, I mean, are like a ragtag collection of things, right? You have one JoJo character in there.
You have Cliff. If Cliff is in Guilty Gear, JoJo is still in Guilty Gear.
I accept that as a good point, sure. Cliff Anderson is strange, yeah. And he's original cast, so...
Yeah.
He's a Guilty Gear World Warrior, right? And if he's not Guilty Gear, then what the hell? Sure. Order Soul.
Yeah,
I guess what I'm saying is they're like old era characters. Just saying Older Soul is also someone who I could pick from older Guilty Gear games that I think doesn't really look like other characters.
I think it does for me.
Because he looks like Soul, but the parts of him that are... I realize this is a weird point, but like the parts of him that are Order Soul don't look like Guilty Gear to me.
They look like Kai, but red.
You mean like how his sword is
but
slab of concrete?
What?
You like how his sword is just like a slab of fucking iron?
No, that's fine. That part's fine. Stupid weapons depends on stuff, but that looks okay, I think. No, yes, he does look like Soul dressed like Kai because that's literally the thing there.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
That's why, like, I feel like I don't get like why it doesn't look like Guilty Gear if it looks like exactly like another character you accept as Guilty Gear.
because the rest of Kai is designed to fit around that uniform. I feel like that's not the case for Soul. Soul is really like Order Soul. I mean, Order Soul is really like a lore character, which yes, that has to be Guilty Gear because it's a direct consequence, right? But I don't think that's the same as like the original like design intent behind the various characters in Guilty Gear up to that point. Cliff doesn't wear that, and he's like, I guess because he had a higher position in the army, whatever.
Cliff wears something very similar to that, though.
It was like grayish brown.
I mean, yeah, the colors are different, but
it's not a dress.
Yeah, the colors are different, but the uniform is very similar. It just doesn't have that front flap thing.
And it doesn't have a dress. Which maybe you mean that. Okay.
No, I meant the loincloth and like the overcoat. But everything else,
loincloth and overcoat. Like trading down over the legs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't have that indeed. That's what yes, I agree. In his super, he looks sort of like Soul. Like a very muscular, gigantic Soul.
Yeah.
Just, yeah. But sure. Whatever. Was just an aside. And as mentioned...
we're like a lot of aside to the Shoto talk anyway at this point.
well, that's sort of the thing, right? Like we laid the position out. There's these three different experiences that Shoto can deliver.
If
why would
it
be
Shoto,
one over the others?
You don't need this three fucking thing. There we go.
What? Everyone's a Shoto? What?
No, if Guile is a Shoto, then you don't need the free stuff. But yeah, we had like
certainly, but like, you know, if since that was what he was asking, like, what can a Shoto do exactly?
I mean, yep.
Now the reply would be, I mean, the ball would be in Hoarsplay's court, right? Like, it's why is one of these more important than the others? Now, I don't think there's an answer to that personally, but hey.
Which one of why the which part?
Basically, so we kind of described how Hado Trap is a gameplay style, right? That you can do with Shotos, and we described that how Ken Master's style Rushdown is a specific Shoto experience that you get too, and switching between like zoning and rushdown, right? Like switching between these two is also a kind of experience. The one that you said was central, right? But these are all three different experiences, and they're all specific to Shotos. I don't think one is more important than the others, basically. Even switching is just a thing. It's not more than the other two because it switches between them. Right.
Well, yeah. Well, my idea behind this, and this might just be my own personal view. Well, it is my personal view because I'm saying it. The reason why I value specifically the ability to be able to do these strategies like this on the fly using the same moves, even if it's not the optimal way to play that character. And the reason why I value that when it comes to labeling a character as a Shoto is because it's important to remember that in Street Fighter 2 and Street Fighter 1 as well, is that the character you're locked in playing, being Ryu or Ken, is designed to be an all-rounder character because the rest of the roster are testing your ability to use your that was the wrong move. To use your abilities in different ways, and each of them excel and are weak in one of those aspects. To make this sound less like a word salad is, the reason why Ryu and Ken are designed the way they are is because, yes, Street Fighter 2 you can play as other characters, but they were initially designed to be boss fights for Ryu and Ken.
That's not what I heard from the design discussions from the designers. I mean, maybe that was like very early, but but that's before they started designing their movesets, so that did not play a role into making them as characters. Like very early on, actually, the idea came that no, actually, let's do this differently. We want full characters, a bunch of them, playable.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Yeah, but just to pick it a little bit in your direction, it's still true, however, that they had Ryu and Ken already from the special moves.
Yeah,
the normals did change, right?
Yeah,
and
as the template. Yes.
Even if they didn't think of it as a template, right? Those were the things they did initially, and due to some other design decisions that happened along the way, they built characters around that. And you can very much see that in the design of the other World Warriors, that they're related to a mindset that sort of sees fighting games in those terms where Ryu and Ken are capable of handling multiple situations. Yeah. Now, as soon as the game went out the gate, that broke down entirely, which is great. Exactly. But like in that sense, in the lowest sense possible, but still in that sense, that is a thing, yes. However, now you said it's central that like they played this sort of role in the initial thought of the designer, right? But Shoto gameplay can't really be imagined outside of being actually played. That's important, I think. Design intent aside, the way what the players did with it is also matters, right? It's in fighting games, that's a continual sort of discussion, you could say, between game designers and players. And like, if Shoto is not just Ryu and Ken anyway, because then we're just defining it as characters who play like Ryu, and that's too tight, right?
Well, okay, fine. I wasn't saying that, but sure.
No. I know you're not saying that. I'm just saying, like, we can't say that just so it's clear what I'm saying. That's all. Sorry, that got me off of track. I need to think what I was trying to say. So anyway, like, Hado Trap and Ken Rushdown is just something that players made. Hado Trap is sort of intended, I think. I don't think the way that Ken...
to this extent, though.
Not to that extent, definitely. I think that's true. Like, what players did in the extreme with it was not intended. Like, and like, I don't think the way specifically Shoto Rushdown played out in players' hands was intended either. But later iterations of Street Fighter built on that. They built on what the players were doing with that. Because of this.
Like, they add different IDs, right? But when combos are not planned and like players find out stuff like that, the developer didn't have everything in mind, like while creating all the characters, so cannot really.
Yeah.
I mean,
I do think. Yeah, I think something that's really true of early fighting game design is that it's very sandboxy, right?
Yes.
People have sort of an idea of how to make characters new and interesting, but not like a good idea about like what players will be capable of doing with them. So characters kind of morph into something of their very own once players get a hand on them, which is nice. That's one of the cool things about fighting games, right? Like it's not a very closely defined set. And set of like, I mean, rules. So so that's cool. Applies to Shotos too, though. So what players did with Shotos is definitely part of what went into the design of later Shotos, which then goes into the players' hands, into the designers. It's both of these things matter, right? And if we're not just saying the initial ones, Ryu and Ken, then the others are just as important for the definition of what a Shoto would be, right? That's just what I was trying to say. I know you weren't saying specifically just Ryu. I was just saying that the chronology, like what was the first ideas or what the earlier ideas was, doesn't matter to the overall usage of the term Shoto. is what I was trying to say. Yeah, there you go. If that makes sense. I mean, like, you can disagree, right? Like, I'm just saying,
that makes sense.
why.
And I factored that into my not really an argument, I can't say. It's not much of an argument.
We are having an argument, just not an angry one. It's just arguments, right? Like a philosophical argument. It's very close.
And I acknowledge all of that. I just think that in order for a character to be labeled a Shoto, it needs to have not a core moveset, but a core set of moves. Because that is traditionally what defines what that archetype of character Really? The server is what they could. I guess it were. That's slider only for it. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, but you said the reason why you went with those 3 moves is for the option, the experience of switching between those 2 sorts of styles, right?
Well, yes, because technically, yes, I am saying that. But what I meant to say is that you have the option to do it because these Shotos were initially designed as all-rounder characters, even though they're a lot more specialized nowadays in fighting games. But the idea is that because you have the core 3 Fireball Tatsu DP moves, you have the option to force those situations of like the Hado traps, even if the character was not initially designed to be played that way, because of the core idea of having those 3 moves. Right?
Yeah, if you have no life, Chip was on you.
I mean, Chip basically has no life. So
I know. I'm just saying, like, sure, like, if you have certain tools, then you can use them. So you can force situations with them because that's what it means to have the initiative, so to speak, right? Like, you make a situation happen with your moves, but that's just not specific enough, I feel, for like.
It's also just all-rounder, like any stance character has like all and so for your anything, so that's all-rounder. Is it Shoto? No. So...
Wait, who?
You know, stance characters, like, for example, that Street Fighter guy. Gen, right? Gen has 2 different fighting styles that he can swap in between. That doesn't make him a Shoto, even though that's exactly the central thing of being able to swap fighting styles, right? Gen's just one example of these kinds of characters.
I get.
Same for Izayuri. She has a fireball, she has a DP, she has stances, she can be considered all-rounder. Is she playing like a Shoto? Not at all. By example. It's also...
Yeah, I think stance... stance characters are a good point about that, because being able to swap playstyles is a fighting game experience. It is an important thing, and designers just went and took that thing and made it its own thing, rather than having movesets that allow you to play as 2 situations. Now you had to swap your movesets to do so, but it became the central part of a kind of character.
Well, that's not what I mean. What I mean is that no matter how do I phrase this?
Asuka Weekly number 38, the Shoto discussion.
Hey, I'm having fun.
Yeah, I mean, like, if nobody minds, I'll continue. I don't want to be distracted.
At some point I will stop, because I'm starting to be hungry though, because...
I haven't eaten yet either. But yeah. Hoarseplay?
I'm still thinking.
No problem. I mean, there's a tennis racket being hit at your head right now, so it does like impede thought to some degree.
Yeah, no, Shinobu's got a concussion.
Yeah. Man. once we get a strong Tamaki in one of our tournaments or in our group over here in general, like, I mean the Asuka server, I really need to look at like tennis terminology again so that I can make tennis jokes. Like, yeah, because you know the concept in tennis where like you have to have at the end of the set, I don't know if it's 11 or 15 points, I don't play tennis, where you get to the set point. There's a specific French word that's used for that. I think it was French anyway. And I'd like to use that if someone is at the winning set point, but the other guy could technically still win and is not at the set point, but he'll get into it then, because it would be exactly the situation. But yeah, I forget what it's called because I don't know anything about tennis.
I mean, there is two things, like, I guess when you have advantage, tennis, well, so it's like just like 15A or something, like, or stuff like that. I'm not sure, like, talking about this.
I guess I'll check.
Because
tennis terminology set point.
Oh, the fiber didn't come out.
Looks like I'm going to have enough time because Hoarseplay is really thinking about how to form the.
I'm not gonna lie, I just stopped thinking at this point.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure he's like at MT right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So as I was saying about the reason why, more than anything, the reason why I specifically focus on the Hado trap, even though I don't feel like
because real.
Partially, yes, but because right. Okay, that was because specifically the reason why is because I feel like to be a Shoto, you need to have the ability to do that because of the 3 core moves that we use to identify what a Shoto character is.
But that's circular, because we're asking about why the three moves are necessary to be a Shoto. If the argument is the 3 moves are necessary because you believe an experience that delivers having these 3 moves is necessary to have the 3 moves to be able to have the experience of having the 3 moves, you understand? Yeah. That wouldn't work. That's
also
circular.
like, if we are talking especially for Ado Trap, like Tatsu is not into Ado Trap, so I don't know why it would be considered into, but yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing, but even taking that out, because the original Hado trap doesn't involve it. I just gave an example in Street Fighter 4 because I wanted to show that it can be part of it, but you can deduct it off and it's still the Hado trap, which is the original Hado trap, which is only DP and Hadoken.
Yeah.
Right. I know I made it more confusing apparently. I just thought it would help expressing it that way. My bad. Just clearing it up, right? Like Hado trap, you really just need Shoryuken and Hadoken.
Yeah. Or technically any anti-air, but often the Shoryuken.
Crouching
or in
heavy.
case of Street Fighter 2, the sweep is the safest.
I mean, yeah, to be fair, it can't be in that same context because ground movement is so fast in Street Fighter 2 that you don't really need to use Tatsu for positioning. So,
sure, that's another thing. But like,
I'm not really agreeing with that.
No?
But it mainly has like solar plexus that is safer to use.
Yeah,
when
but I'm
placing.
thinking of World Warrior, not Super Turbo.
Ryu's solar plexus
Solar
is his
plexus.
knee bazooka.
Well, yeah, that's what I said earlier.
Yeah, I know.
That's why I said like knee
it's
bazooka is
just
not a
like it's
tattoo; it's
funny.
like a solar plexus.
Yeah, but
so
Solar Plexus in
Oh, I
in
see.
Super Turbo is so fast that it's basically a dash.
yeah,
It's fucking it's a whip Zanakin.
What's
I
a
don't know what to
Seneca?
say.
Andy's dash elbow. If you don't hit with
Oh.
it, it's just like it's basically just a dash that
Yeah.
gives you meter when you use it.
Yes.
Which may or may not be what inspired the function of that move when it doesn't hit. Don't quote me on that. I don't know for sure, but we do know that SNK and Capcom were ripping each other off around that era.
Yeah. I can't. I've found like English tennis terms, French tennis terms, French to English tennis terms. I cannot find
Is
this
it love?
thing that I'm looking for.
You're thinking about? There is like a
Could you
term like
repeat it?
tennis, like something love. I think it's
that's
about
what-
scorings, but I forgot what it is.
I forget. I think it's either if the opponent has no points or if the score is tied. I can never
I think it's a
remember which
tie.
one it is. Okay,
How do you say that?
Love.
like 15 love, you would say that?
Like Doki Doki Love?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, really? I see. I was
Yes.
trying to ask that so that you would correct me
Nope.
because it's obviously wrong. Okay. I've never heard of this term. I'll try finding it. Because that might, even if it's not the answer that I'm looking for, that should give me the answer since that sounds very specific.
I'm trying to think how would you use that term in a fighting game context, and I'm drawing a blank here. I guess if the health is tied,
On-
maybe.
On like either near grand finals reset or near tournament winning point. You approach
sure.
a similar situation. Like
Yeah, fair.
Anyway,
yeah.
last match. Need to go for it.
yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, that didn't hit. That's kind of sad. I don't know why I would be able to die Mudex now. But if you need to... I don't think I did eaten anything today. Just wasn't hungry. I mean, I did wake up late. We talked yesterday like till 6, 7, 6 maybe.
It's Deuce or Deuce. I don't know how to say this. D-E-U-C-E.
Deuce.
Yeah, so that's an
Yeah.
English one, right?
I guess. I mean, it is in English as well, but that doesn't look like an English word to me. 0, 0, 15, 0, 15, 15, 13, 15, 30, 30, 40, 30. Deuce advantage game.
Yeah.
So Deuce is that specific situation on the turnaround, right? From advantage, you can go to game. But if you lose that one, then you're back to the other thing. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tie.
Yeah. Okay.